Well, first off, obviously played for a really good cause today. It's our annual Play for K. There's a lot of people, unfortunately, in this world that have not only suffered or have lost to a terrible disease, and to be able to shed light on and send some love and recognition and hopefully some continued support. We're really grateful to be able to use our platform to do such a thing. So, for those that are suffered or have feeling lost, we send our condolences and love. On top of that, two really good basketball teams yet again. My team showed a whole lot of fight, as we've come to expect, led by these two I'm sitting with. We didn't have enough kids we could rely on to make plays inside their skill set, which put a lot of pressure on our defense. I think it ended up being 54 points that we left that was in regulation against this team. Really good defensive effort. Offensively, just again didn't have enough we could rely on throughout the 40-minute game, or I guess it was longer, 45. You're good.
Coach, do you mind talking a little bit about what you saw from Z today, putting in big minutes?
Yeah, Z's able to space the floor because she's shot willing. She certainly has an understanding how to create space for her teammates. One of my favorite plays she made is Deja was coming down the floor and she kind of hesitated for a minute and set kind of a brush rub. Stuff like that, the nuance of how to create space for others. And so, where she lacks a little bit of rebounding ability, as you can tell from the statistics that hurt us, she gives you stuff on the offensive end. So you're forced to make some decisions with kind of, again, how unreliable some of our pieces were today.
Yeah, and before she came into the game, looking at that first half, what kind of wasn't going you guys' way offensively?
Well, I think we were, not too many things probably to attest to, but we missed a lot of kind of good shots, I thought. But it goes back to just you have to rely on, I think, our inside game to collectively was 1 for 10 or something. Obviously, we haven't been lights out from three, and so that puts in Alyssa's not, is her guy's sagging and she's kind of gone away from her mid-range a little bit. And so that puts a lot of pressure on your offense. So we sort of got into attack mode better in the second half that we didn't do that in the first half very well.
The inside issues you were talking about, is that part of the reason we didn't see Maria after the third quarter?
You saw her. You saw her 21 minutes, and she was 1 for 6. Yeah, that would equal 2 for 12 if we kept going that rate.
Did their defense do anything to make it a tough shooting game for you guys?
I have to ask these guys. I felt like defense is not what they do really well. They're really good offensively. They kind of shoot you out of games. They did that in the overtime period, clearly. But just again, we put so much pressure on our defense with how we were kind of unreliable at various spots today.
What did you all do defensively to hold them down for much of the game?
Yeah, they got two players that control the majority of their offense, and I thought we did a good job helping off when we could, and yeah, just really trying to guard ball screens the best we could because they run a lot of ball screens in their offense. So I thought as a team our effort on those ball screens was great. I thought we did enough defensively to put us in the spot that we wanted to be in.
Courtney, were there certain things you were hoping to do defensively against Kitley and Amor that kind of worked to a T today?
We've done a good job with Kitley all along. We've got some length, we've got some quickness. She's a really tough matchup. What a treat to watch and prepare for. I've obviously watched her play for a long time. It's the team that we've played 3 times or 2 times every year since I've been here, and she's been here every year. So I've gotten a lot of her. But we wanted to make her uncomfortable and kind of give her hell. And we did that at various times, throw doubles at various times, push out. So it was kind of again, these guys' ability to lock into the defensive game plan shows how coachable they are, right? And now we just got to make sure that they play with some confidence and a little bit more coachability on the offensive end.
Courtney, you mentioned rebounding not too long ago. They got a lot of offensive rebounds, particularly in the fourth quarter, overtime, things like that. Was that more so like a matter of positioning and things like that? Like what kind of do you think fit into the rebounding space?
If you take Alyssa as such a pursuit rebounder, right? Take Alyssa and Deja out. I don't know if we ever would have gotten a rebound, right? So it comes down to the guys that play, Lexi and Deja, et cetera. They need to rebound better. There's just no other way around it, especially when we're in, having to play. We went to a little bit more of our zone and which disrupted them. Z, who gives us a lot on offense, that's just not her strength yet, right? Because of athleticism and speed. And so therefore we need a little bit more from everybody else. And so, again, those two, outside of those two, we're not getting enough rebounding from everybody else.
Deja, can you talk about the emotions of playing 2 tough games in a row? You personally having 2 big games, but not being rewarded with a win.
Yeah, just obviously upset about the losses back to back, or 3 in a row, I guess now. Yeah, we know that this league is tough, and we knew coming up we had, some big games, and will continue to down the stretch. So it's just our preparation. I think those games we've been really good defensively, but obviously offensively has been our struggle. And it's not like we're not getting the looks that we like or looks that we want, but throughout the 40-minute period, or 45 in this case, I think it just came down to certain plays and making plays, and just having the ball in the right people's hands. But I think we got the stops that we needed, but offensively is where we need to grow moving forward.
For Lexi, down the stretch late in overtime, what was kind of not going your way and everybody else's way offensively?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we got good shots, and we got looks that we practice in practice and outside of practice. They just didn't fall. Like, I thought for the most part we did what we wanted to. Just wish we could have made a couple more shots at the end.
For any or all of you, Duke just announced the game on Sunday is sold out. So how do you kind of go into coming off 3 losses, you have Thursday off? Just how do you kind of regroup for another?
I think I announced their sellout about a week ago. When I was talking about post game at Virginia Tech. I mean, wherever we just played, NC State. I mean, that's the state of women's basketball right now. I have my friend asked about tickets, and I said you should buy about 50 because I don't have enough, right? So he bought 50, right? So I think that's the state of women's basketball. We had 6,500 at Virginia. We had however many at NC State. We had however many tonight. I don't know what the final number was. And then the game before that, we had how many? And then Duke has that many. And then, and then we still go to at Virginia Tech, and that's going to have, I don't know if it'll be sold out because they seat 11,000, but it'll be a lot. And so it's just so awesome. I think as someone who's in charge of the WVCA right now, I mean, there's a story to be told. The last game Caitlin Clark played, there were 2 cameras, one on Caitlin Clark and one on the game, right? That's women's basketball right now. It's awesome, right? And I know next you've got South Carolina, Ole Miss, be a lot of people at that game, and then you've got UCLA playing Stanford, be a lot of people at that game. I mean, gone are the days where there's three gyms that sell. So I knew it was going to be a sellout in the summer, and that's just the state of women's basketball and what you guys have earned.
If you've been out rebounded in all 3 of these games,
Mm-hmm.
are there other common threads as well for these 3 games?
I mean, it's a physical game. I mean, it's obviously being played physically. The way that we're shooting, don't forget, they get a lot more defensive rebounding opportunities, right? So math is math, right? You miss more shots, they get more defensive rebounds. And so we look at turnovers caused, we look at offensive rebounds, more so, because it's a function of if we're taking the right shot, like we said, and it's a shot Lexi or Deja practice, we're living with it, right? And they wish they could go in a little bit more, but if they don't, that's a defensive rebound more often than not, right, because of the positioning. So I think it has more to do with us making shots.
Deja, you get a bye in your schedule coming up, so you have a full week to prepare for your next game against Duke. Kind of at this sort of crucial point in the schedule, how valuable will this next week be just in terms of reset, rest, preparation?
I think it's super valuable. Obviously, I think this is something that we really have to lean into and individually really look inward this week, because that's what it'll come down to. As much as we have been playing together, pretty well, we need individuals to play better and be better on both sides of the ball. Even though defensively, I think we're fine, but offensively, I think that's where we need it the most. So I think this week will be a lot of individual, progress and regroup, and collectively, I'm confident that we'll be able to put it together when the time comes.
Coach, you talked about switching the zone
Mm-hmm.
a little bit earlier, and it looked like you did that against NC State, and kind of tonight or this afternoon, late game scenarios. What's kind of the decision behind that, and how do you feel like you guys have executed it over the past couple of games?
Yeah, I mean, it's an ebb and flow of a game, right? And so once they got into their single side coverage, we came out of the half and really defended that really well. And so they go to their next action and tried to play more in the highways, and our zone takes that away. So it's really kind of boring gamesmanship that you're probably not that interested in, to mix and match a little bit. It's a heavy lift for our guys because, we don't have that many healthy guards right now, and so our zone is very active, so they get tired playing it. I'd like to play it all the time, but that's just not something they can do all the time. And so we use it when we can, but ultimately, and we're dealt with the cards we're dealt with in terms of where we're at physically.
Is that kind of the mindset when you're evaluating whether you're going to press as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It's again we're playing kind of four guards, because of four guards being out, and so it's another factor. But that's that's my job. Like Deja's job is not easy. We all know that. She's got to lead, she's got to win, she's got to shoot, she's got to facilitate. Lexi's job isn't easy. She has to shoot, she has to create her own, she has to play off the screen, she has to defend the best player. My job isn't easy either, right? And so it's just what it is. So there's a lot of things I have to synthesize in the moment, and our hope is that over the course of my tenure, I make the right choices enough of the time.
Lexi, can you talk about the perimeter defense on you in recent games? It looks like it's very hard for you to get open chances behind the arc lately.
Yeah, I mean, I took 5 threes tonight. I mean, I still got some off. I don't know. I feel like they have to keep a hand up, but when we're able to move the ball and have people attacking it, that I'm still able to get some open looks.
Great. Thanks, everybody. We'll get. You got it. Thanks, guys.